Hello everyone, my name is Nitin. I take SAP Hybris online trainings. I am a SAP certified development professional. This is a brief about myself. This is my email ID nitin.hybris@gmail.com. You can reach out to me over this email ID in case you have any questions or concerns related to this topic which we are going to discuss today or some other topic which we have discussed in past. So the topic which I will be covering today is the SAP Hybris setup, and we'll go from the first step to the last step, and by the end of this tutorial you will be able to have a website looking like this. And when you click on these categories you will see the PLP pages, right? You will be able to see the mini cart, you can log in, you can register. So there are other functionalities also of this website which will be available for you once you complete this particular tutorial, and in the subsequent lectures we will be working on this particular website only. So let's go back to our slide. Yeah, so as I said, we'll be covering the step-by-step tutorial for SAP Hybris. Now for this there are certain topics which we will be covering today. So I'll start with the first one where we will understand what are the system requirements for SAP Hybris. Like what kind of how much memory of RAM you will be required for your laptop or for your PC in order to get the Hybris stably running on your local topic. Now after that I'll give you the link from where we can download the SAP Hybris Commerce Suite, and this is nothing but a zip file which you will be downloading from the SAP portal. Now once you have this zip we will be extracting it and installing certain recipes on it, so that unpacking and installing of the recipe will be covered after that part. Then we will be creating our own training extensions. Then we will try to initialize our database which will give us the tables created. Now after that we will see how the newly created website which we will be creating in this tutorial will look like. Okay, and I'll show you some of the post installation steps also. Now let's go to the system requirements first. So if I talk about system requirements, uh, SAP Hybris can be run on Mac. It can be run on Windows also. So for this particular tutorial I'm using Windows, so what all activities I will be performing will be related to Windows, but somehow same type of um, steps you need to follow on your Mac also. So Mac M1 M2 both support SAP Hybris. Along with that, if I talk about Windows, it will be Core i5 i7 processor is fine for SAP Hybris. Along with that you need to have at least of 16 GB RAM in order for your laptop to support SAP Hybris properly. Ready? So if you can if you have a laptop which is having 8 GB RAM, that is also fine. There is no issue with it. But if you have a 16 GB RAM, that is the bare minimum you should be having in order for your Hybris to work properly. Otherwise, it will be a bit slow. It will make your system slow, right? So it's personal choice, but yeah, I would suggest if you can get a laptop or a PC with 16 GB RAM, that will be better. Now for this, we will be having JDK 17, right? Java 17, I would say, right? Or later, and we will see the open SAP machine also. So we have the open JDK. Along with that, we will see that what type of database we will be using. So if I talk about SAP Hybris, by default it will provide you HSQL database. Now HSQL is your database which comes with SAP Hybris suite. So you don't need to make any configuration specifically for this one. But there are other options also, just like SAP HANA, MySQL, Oracle database, Microsoft SQL Server, and Post GRSQL. If you want to use MySQL also, that you can also do, right? But if you don't know how to use MySQL in SAP Hybris, just let me know into the comments. I will make a separate tutorial in order to show how we can use MySQL in SAP Hybris. So for the time being, for this particular tutorial we will be using the HSQL. So we'll not be making any configurations related to this particular database. Now talking about IDE, so people use Eclipse, people use Intellij also. Both of them are good. I personally feel that Intellij is more comfortable. If I talk about only Hybris specifically, so I prefer Intellij. So I have made another video also related to how we can use Intellij into SAP Hybris. So that link will be provided into the description, so you can go and watch that video also after this one, so that you can import your SAP Hybris suite into the IDE and you can play around that. And there I have shown the shortcut keys also, so I'll give a link into the description, and maybe it will be coming near this eye icon also. You can click on it and you can watch that particular video also. And there are other videos also which will help you out understanding SAP Hybris better. So I do recommend to see those videos also. But for the timing, let's go ahead with our next slide, where we will be downloading the commerce suite. These are the different commerce suites available right now, and these are the patches 10, 9, 12, right? So for the sake of this tutorial, if you click on this one, you will be able to download it. I have already downloaded the patch which I already have, that is this one, SAP CX 2211. I have the patch 2 here, so it doesn't matter like if you use the latest patch or a few patches behind it is fine for the tutorial sake at least. Okay, now let's go back to our slide. Yeah, so after downloading this one, you need to download the SAP machine JDK also. So for this also I'll give you this link, so let's go to this particular link. Let me go to this link. Yeah, so as soon as you open this link, you'll go to this website here. So here this is the SAP machine. Now SAP machine 17 is the one which I will be using, right? So if you click on this one and you click on download, you will be able to download a folder by the name of SAP machine 17. And once you download that particular folder, what you need to do is you need to go to your C drive, and you can place it anywhere, but I prefer to place it into these program files here. So I pay just beside Java folder actually. So this is the Java folder and this is my SAP machine folder. So as soon as I open it, this is my folder. It will look like this one. I'll show you where we need to use this particular folder, but for the time being, you just download it, extract it, and paste it into the program files. Let's go to the slide again. Yeah, and you can download the Java 17 from this link, and this is nothing but our old-fashioned Java link. I go here. So as I'm using Windows, I can go to the Windows installer, right? And here from here I can download this and I can install the Java 17. So once you install the Java 17, it will look like somehow this JDK 17 will be there like this. So once you complete these two steps, so let me repeat it for you also. So first we will go to this download link, which I will be providing into the description. Once this download link is being clicked, we will be able to download the latest Hybris version. And once you download that, just keep that zip with you. Now next step will be downloading the SAP machine JDK. So to open the so to download the SAP machine JDK, you need to go to this particular URL and download the 17 SAP machine JDK. Now after that, you need to go to the Java 17 download link, and here you will be able to download the Java 17 also. So now after this, once these three steps are done, you will place this SAP machine to your program files. This one will automatically go to your program files in the Java folder. So once this is done, we'll go to the next step where I will show you like what are the steps we need to do for the Java specifically. Okay. So now as soon as you download the Java JDK 17 from this URL, what you need to do is you need to set your Java home. Now how to set Java home? You just go to the search icon. Now we will go ahead with the unzipping of the Hybris suite. Now I personally recommend to use 7-zip to extract this one instead of using the Windows extractor, because it will give you some error of some long path or what. I don't remember the exact error, but you will get that error. So it's better if you use the this 7-zip. Now let's say if I have my This is my zip file. Now as soon as I get my zip file downloaded, I will go to the 7-zip and I will try to extract it. So now I will click on extract files and I'll just rename it to some shorter name, smaller. Let's keep it plain. Okay. I'll click on OK. Don't give space, please. So as soon as I clicked on OK, it start extracting the Hybris suite into this folder. So let's wait for a few minutes. It will extract the whole Hybris suite. Okay, so the extraction is successful now. So as soon as that folder is extracted, we will be having a folder structure which will look like this: build tools, Hybris SPG, installer, licenses. Now, if I go to this Hybris folder, I will see only one folder, that is the bin folder. Inside the bin folder, I'll see one folder which is modules and the other folder will be platform. Now this modules is nothing but certain extensions or certain projects which come with out of the box Hybris. So right now it is a fresh extracted Hybris and there is no customization into this one. No extra folders, nothing getting created. Now slowly as we proceed into this particular tutorial, we will be getting some files getting created. We'll have some folders getting created. All those things I will be showing you how we will be going to do it. Okay, so just keep a note that we have only bin folder here. We don't have any other folder right now. Now let's go to our slide again. Okay, so the next step will be, yeah, installing the CX recipe. Now CX recipe is nothing but your B2C recipe, which will give you some out of the box websites created by its own. So you don't need to run a lot of things to make this website functional. So the beauty of Hybris is that it provides you a dummy website to work upon, to customize it at whatever. Anyways, let's go ahead with installing the recipe. So for that, the first step which we need to follow is go to the installer folder and run the below command. Now this is the command which we need to run into the installer folder. So let's run it first and then later on I will explain why we are running it and what does that mean. So for that, what we are going to do is we will go to the installer folder. So as I landed into my 2211 train folder, I'll go to the installer folder. Here in the address bar I'll write cmd. So for Mac users, you can go to the same folder and you can open your terminal there. Let's paste that command. So as soon as I pasted this command and pressed enter, this command started running. So let it run in the background. Meanwhile, I'll explain you what this command is doing actually. Right. So if you see here, there are certain parts of this command. So the first one is install.bat. So install.bat is nothing cx. So if you go to this cx, this is nothing but it's having a certain build.gradle file which will run certain commands to set up your store for you. So that is the install.bat file. These are the two files which are responsible for making Hybris understand that okay, what all extensions, what all projects we need to run on our Hybris. That is one thing. Second is this property file, which is, so okay, local extension shows local extensions holds the information related to the extensions, and this local property holds the configuration key value pair configurations for SAP Hybris. Like you can mention that this is my key and this is my value, and you can then later on attain those values on your Java classes or on impexes, wherever you want. You can use those as configurations. I'll let you know how it looks like and what it contains. But for the timing, just let's understand this part, that install.bat part, the bat command has already installed the recipe for us. Okay, so after the install.bat command is run, we'll go to the next step, which will be installing our own custom extensions for our development purpose. So for that, we need to run the and module child command, and I'll show you where we need to run it. right? We can use the default values which will be prompted by this particular command, and then we'll see what all prompts are there, and we'll go to the next steps. So before that, what we need to do is we just see the in the bin we have a custom folder created, and there is one extension which is being created. So let's delete this extension and open cmd. So click on set and.bat command. This will set the environment variables for you for this particular instance. Now, and module gen. As soon as I click on and module gen, it will ask me for certain prompts. Now, now this prompt is nothing but your template which you need to use. So this is the first prompt. If you want to use the default option, so which is being selected into the square brackets, you don't need to write anything specifically. You can just click on enter and this will select the default one. If you want to use some particular one, for example commerce web services, so for that you can just write it down and press enter. But for this tutorial perspective, we will be using only the default one. So I'll just click on enter. I'll not type anything. Now same goes with the name also. So here also I'm using the default name, which is training. So I'll click on it. Same for the package. It's suggesting me org.training, so I'll go ahead with this one. If you want, you can write down your own names also, like com.training or anything like that. Let's see. So after you click on enter on the last prompt, it will start building some extensions. Let's wait for this to finish. It should not take more than 1.5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so once this is finished, there are certain text printed on the console which shows the next steps, and let's read about what it says actually. So it says add your extensions to your this particular local extension .xml file. So this is nothing but the local extension XML file where we need to add these extensions which are newly created, right? And we need to remove the out of the box extensions which are corresponding to these extensions. For example, y accelerator core, which is corresponding to your training core, y accelerator back office, which is corresponding to your training back office, like that. So there are certain extensions which are out of the box present already into your local.xml file, local extensions.xml file. We need to remove them and we need to add the newly ones which are being created by us. So let's go ahead and copy these and paste it on the notepad, and we'll, yeah. So let's copy these next steps, paste it onto the notepad here, and let's add these to our local extensions. So I'm gonna remove everything which is extra, copy this one, go to your local extension. So I'll again show you where the local extension is. So it is in the Hybris, in the main folder, Hybris config, and go to this local extension. So and add it into the end before the extension closing tag here. So I've added the newly created extensions by module gen into this particular file. Okay. So now if you see here, right, it is having a lot of extensions already being created. To be honest, all of them will not be used instantly. So we will not be using all these extensions, to be honest, okay, because there are a lot of functionalities provided by Hybris and we don't require all of them at the same time. So for this particular local development, you might not be requiring all of them. So what I used to do is, like, I remove all the extensions which I don't require usually, and they don't have a dependency on other extensions also, so that my build time is a bit less, especially if I am working on my local for my trainings or my setup, which you are also doing. So if you are working into a project, definitely you will be requiring all the extensions which are required by your project, right? That is that is a mandatory thing to have actually. But for the sake of your local development and your learning, you can remove the extensions which are not required. So I just kept the ones which I feel are necessary for our tutorial perspective, and will shorten your build time also. Now this training test extension also I'll just comment it out, because that will also consume some build time for us and we don't require it as of now. Okay, so I'll just to repeat, what we have done is we have just followed these steps which are being followed. So the first step is being followed. We have added the newly created extensions to the local extension.xml file. Then the next step is removal. So if I go here, it says that remove these all the extensions which are there. So I have already removed them actually, because I was having a file which looks like this one. So my original file look like this, right? So these are certain of the extensions which I have commented. So for this tutorial I have removed them and pasted into my local extension. But for you guys, I will, in my description, I will attach this file, which will, if YouTube allows me to attach this one, I'll attach this one. Otherwise I'll give you the Google Drive link for this one, where you can see what all extensions I have commented and what I have kept for my training. So this is my local extension, and it looks like somewhere around 70-75 lines, and it doesn't have these extensions which it asked me to remove, so I removed them already. Now next is make sure your application server is stopped. Also for us, we haven't started our application server, so it is stopped already. Now the next line is to perform the ANT. So let's perform the ANT. So we'll go to the platform, click on ANT, sorry, type ANT and click on enter. Now let's wait for this ANT to finish. Let's see how much time it takes. Meanwhile, I'll go to the folder structure and I'll show you something. So earlier, when we went to the bin folder, we were having only modules and platform folder. But now if I go there, I have a custom folder. I have a training folder created into it, and inside the training folder I have these extensions created. And if you see carefully, these are nothing but your extension which we have added here: training code, training backoffice, training facade, training fulfillment process, training initial data. Backoffice, core, facades, fulfillment process, initial data, storefront, and training test. So these are the extensions which we have added already into our local extensions. Now why we add actually the files to local extensions? So that the Hybris platform knows which extensions to build. So it's nothing but you tell Hybris that okay, these are the extensions I want to build. So that is why I added them on my local extensions .xml file, that because I wanted to build. Now for this particular extension I don't want to build it, so that I save some time. So that's why I commented it out, and it saved me some time which this particular extension would have taken to build. So okay, so the first step is already being done. We have added the local extensions to our local extensions file. So these are the extensions which we have added. These are the newly created ones. Okay, so once these are added, the next step is removal of the Y accelerator core, Y accelerator back office, facades. These are some out of the box extensions which collide with these extensions. So we need to either remove them or comment them. So in my local extension, since I have removed all the extensions which I don't feel necessary, so these were also the part of that. So I don't have it here. Although if I go to my old local extension, so I'll have these extensions present. So if I show you this one, for example, my accelerator facades, so that will be there and it is commented. So I'll share this XML file with you guys, so that you can have a look at what all extensions are I have commented. So for this tutorial I have removed them and not commented. Okay, so this first part is done. So next is making sure that your application server is stopped before you build the extensions for the first time. Obviously, since we haven't started our server, so our application server is already stopped. The next step is perform ANT. So before performing ANT, I would like to make certain configuration changes so that we can lower down our build time, right? So if you remember, like I have removed the extensions from here because I want to make my build time a bit less, right? Because I don't find all the extensions necessary for the time being. So now let's go to the next slide where I have mentioned certain steps. So this steps adding the newly created extensions to the local extensions we have done. Removal of this extension is also done. Now the next step is go to the local.properties file in the config folder and replace these values with these values. Okay, fine. Let's go to the local properties. Now local properties, it will be present in our Hybris config folder. Go to local.properties file. So remember I said that in few minutes back that I will show you what these files will contain. So local extensions we have already talked about. These contains the extensions which we need to build, and we need to tell the hybrid system platform that these are the extensions I want to build. Now for local properties we will have the key value pairs which will serve as some input actually. So it is having this property, for example this is the key and this is the value for that. Similarly we can have any value xyz value, which could be like for example xyz will be equal to 1 to 3 for example, and this xyz value I can call in my Java classes, in my cron jobs, or anywhere I want. I can call this particular value and a particular key, and I can get this value. Anyways, that I will show you later on in some other tutorial how we can fetch the values from here. But for the timing, for this tutorial, what we need to do is we need to replace this particular key, this is the key, with this value. Okay, so let me do this part. I'll copy this, and these are the two values actually which I need to replace. So these two I have replaced. Now after that, because we will be working on the electronic stores, I have just touched the electronic part. I haven't touched the apparel one. Now the next is that we need to add this particular property. So this is smart edit only build once equal to true. This is a property which I want to override so that I can decrease my build time. Okay, and you remember in the start of each the install.bat command we have put a property with the -a attribute argument, that was initial password.admin, so and equal to nimda. So that property was also added automatically to this particular file. We haven't added it by our own. It is coming from that one argument which we gave into the starting. Okay, so now yeah, I was on to the steps. Yeah, so this is the next step, and we need to run after we have done these 3-4 changes. Run and then we'll start the server. And let's wait for this to finish, and we'll come back in few minutes once this is finished. Okay, let's see if our build is finished or not. So yeah, it is finished. So my build took around 5 minutes 53 seconds. If you see here, I just wanted to show you guys that how this and command works. So what it does is it builds the extensions which are present into our local extension.xml file. So in order to see if our, or any of our extensions is also picked or not, what we can do is we can just search it there. So if you see here, it is showing checking file this particular item.xml file here, right? So that means that this particular extension is getting built, right? So it is building these extensions and the other extensions also. So if you search all the extensions, you will find. Anyways, so this ant command is done. The next is you're starting the Hybris server. So how do you start your Hybris server? You need to use a command hybris server.bat, and if you want to run it into the debug mode, you just put hybris server.bat space debug. So as soon as you click on this particular command, it will ask you to run the Hybris server. So let's see how much time it takes. We'll be back after my Hybris server is up, and we'll proceed with the next steps. Okay, so my Hybris server has been started into this much milliseconds. So Once the Hybris server is started, let's go to the next steps. So I believe for you guys, it should not be a problem to start the Hybris server. You just need to run that same command, hybris server.bat space debug. Now let's go to the next steps. So once this is done, what is the next step? We need to do the initialization of our database. Now, what does initialization do? Usually, whenever you create a website, you will require some of the data also to be present. For example, images, components, products, and whatever. So these are certain data which you need to be having for your website to run smoothly. So to create that, Hybris provides you a functionality of initialization, which is a one-time activity you need to do in order to make all the data available for your website. So for that, what you need to do is you need to go to this particular URL. So now Hybris run by default on localhost 9002 port. So we'll go to this particular port /HAC. So as soon as I click on 9002/HAC, I will be landed on Hybris administration console. So here you don't need to do anything, right? You just simply click on initialize, right? So now just mind you that this one will take a lot of time. Maybe it could take around 20 minutes, 30 minutes also. So as soon as you click on initialize, you are free to leave the system as it is. Just wait for some time for this to finish. So if you see here in the console, you will see initialize system started. So once this is done, you will be getting a message like initialization successful if everything goes well. So I would say this will take a lot of time. It will take not a lot of time, but it will take some time. So go and get some coffee or some drink. Okay, and we'll be joining back once this is finished. Okay, so the initialization is finished now. So it took around 16 minutes for me. So it depends upon laptop to laptop, or you can say system to system, how much time it will take. So once this is finished, let's go to our next step. Yeah. So the next step will be making the host file entry, right? So for that you need to go to your C drive, Windows System 32, drivers, etc, and the host file. So let's go there. We'll go to the C drive, Windows System 32 folder, drivers, and etc. Okay, so now this is the file which we need to edit. Now why we are editing this particular file? So in order to get our website a look and feel of a proper URL, we need to give the URL for our localhost. So if I open this particular file, here I have a lot of URLs given. So for that, what we need to do is we need to give electronics.local into your host file. So it will look like this one. So we need to give this entry 1270.0.0.1 space localhost space electronics.local, like this, to our host into our host file. So once you add this particular line to your host file, you just save it, right? And then the next step is going to this particular URL. So if you have noticed, we have electronics.local here, we have electronics.local here, and in the host file also we have added this one, right? So why we have done this one? Because in our local.property file also we were having the URL for our website as electronics.local. So if I show you here, I go to my Hybris training folder, config, let's go to local properties. Here if you have noticed, this is the URL which we have kept, http://electronics.local 9001, and same goes with the https URL also, electronics.local. So this is the pattern which we have given. So that is why we have made a host entry for this pattern, electronics.local, onto our host file. So now let's go to the fun part. Let's go to this particular URL. Okay, so I'll click on new tab, paste it, open it. So if you have followed all these steps properly and you did not face any challenge in between and there was no error observed during initialization or build or hybrid server startup, you will be able to open this particular website by this URL. So let's wait for that to open. Yeah. So now if you have noticed, this particular website is running on this URL, and that is the one which we gave into our host file. So this is your local server website which we have set up today itself by following all the steps which were mentioned into our tutorial. So let's wait for it to load properly. Yeah. So if you've noticed, this was the website which I have shown you into the starting of this tutorial, and while we are reaching to the end of this tutorial, we have this website created. Okay, so this was our, you can say, last step. The next step was to browse our newly created store, which we are doing now. So if we open this any of the product, we'll land on the PDP page. So this is the home page. This is a banner. This is a banner component. Okay, these are the carousel components, and this is the PDP page. Okay, it's a bit slow because it's loading for the first time. So sometimes if your website is loading and gets stuck somewhere, go to the console and just press enter there. So sometimes it gets stuck. So for that, so now this is your PDP, right? If you open any of these links, it will land you on the PLP pages of this website. Here, these are the certain facets which are created out of the box. Shop by price, shop by camera mode. So to check the solar related information, I have created one video related to the providers and resolvers. You can go and watch that video also. That the link I will provide into the description. So if you have seen, like, we have set up our B2C website. So now we have our website running. Okay, now let's go to the next step. So post installation steps. So these are optional steps which I follow to just to get my setup a bit clean, right? So if you have noticed in background, so there are a lot of this logging is going on. There are certain cron jobs which are running, right? So this will unnecessarily keep on logging this one because these are scheduled for 1 or 2 minutes of difference. So that's why it is keep on running. So for that, what I do is I run this particular script, right, just to off turn off the logging for this one class. So if you notice, there are a lot of logs getting printed for this class here. See, every second it is printing. So I need to just, and it is an info level log. So what I will do, I will just shut down the logs for this one first. So for that, what you need to do is just go to HSE. Yeah, okay, one more thing. Once your initialization is finished, you click on continue. You'll just log out from here. You just need to log in again, admin, and then nimda. So once you log in, to run the script, you go to hover on console, go to scripts, and paste this script, which, sorry, this script, just copy it and paste it here. Now roll, don't run it in rollback mode, run it into the commit mode. So just click on this, and once your commit option is open, click on execute. So as soon as you execute it, if you have noticed, these logs will stop printing. These stupid logs which are printing here, they will stop printing, otherwise it will unnecessarily keep on logging in. Now the next option is to remove these cron jobs from logs here. So since we are not dealing with solar as of now, we don't need to, and we are not making any changes also to our PDPs, PLPs frequently for this particular topic. What we can do is we can just shut down these cron jobs as of now, and we will run them only if we need it. So for that, we need to go to the back office. So for back office, what you need to do is same URL, localhost colon 9002, which we put at the time of running the HSE. Same way, you just need to add the back office in the end. So as soon as you click on localhost colon 9002 slash backoffice, it will open the backoffice for you. It will take some time to load the backoffice as of now because it is loading for the first time specifically right after the build. So let's wait for it to open. What we are going to do is we are going to stop the cron jobs. Actually, we'll disable the cron jobs like indexers, as we do not need them currently, right, via backoffice or via impex. Okay. And if you want to learn about impexes, I have created a video on impexes also, right, a long time back. So you can go to that particular video also and watch if you want to get familiar with the impexes, what are impexes into Hybris. Now let's wait for the back office to open. So if you have noticed one thing, those logs are not coming anymore. So this was the last entry which for that log. After we have executed that script, it stopped printing the logs for that particular class. Now we are going to stop these cron jobs. The update back office, not the back office one. The update ones will stop all of them, right? Update electronics index cron job. This one, update back office cron job index. So this will just keep on running. So you'll not get to know that your service started or not. You will see that you might get an illusion that your server is still building, right, or it's still running, because these logs can keep on printing, and you will not you will miss that window where it says that your Hybris server has started. So for this also, you just need to go to back office and you need to add the username and password as admin and nimda. Open it. So to disable the cron jobs, there are two options. Either you can do it. So there are three options actually. One is you can go to the back office, open the cron jobs one by one, and set the enable flag to false. That is one way. Second is you can bulk edit them and set the enable false as false. Third is that you can go to the back office and extract them and run an impex for them. Okay, so I'll show you all of them just for your knowledge. Okay, so I will write like this update or something. Yeah, okay, so I just forgot to show you. So once you open the back office, you will be presented with this kind of screen here. Go to the left search menu, search for cron jobs here. And these steps which I'm performing, those are optional. So you can and you cannot perform the steps, it depends upon you. So index, yeah. So I'll search for the index, and these are the cron jobs which are running every, you can say maybe 5 minutes or so, or 1 minute gap interval. So I don't want these to be running so frequently. So what I will do, I will just select all of them, click on this icon. Okay, this is the bulk edit one, and if I want to disable, let's say, only this cron job which is running in one interval, 1 minute gap interval, I'll go here. Okay, this is the enabled flag which I will set to false and save it. Okay, so instead of that, what I believe is it's better to stop all of them and we will run them whenever we need it. So we'll select all of them, click on this bulk edit, and please don't do that for all of them actually, like all the cron jobs. Search for indexer first here. So these are all the cron jobs. I went here, I search for index, because if you stop all the cron jobs, maybe it might not perform properly for you, the Hybris. So better search for index first, select all of them, click on this icon, and search for attribute which you need to change. So I think I need to change enable, this one, set it here, click on this one, next, set it to false, and click on update. So as soon as you do it, it will automatically in bulk update the flag as false for all of them. See here. Now if I go into the backend, I will not see these logs, at least, which are keep on printing every 30 seconds or 1 minute. Okay. So these are certain optional steps which I follow. Now remove the extra extensions from local extensions to avoid build time. That I have already done, right? So in case if you want to remove other extensions also, you can remove them from your local extensions. Okay. but make sure that the dependency is not there for that extension. So if I remove any extensions which is dependent, which is on which any other extension is dependent, then it will be an issue, right? Other then it will fail. So for example, let's say training core is using some of the extensions from commerce facades. Sorry, not commerce facades. Let's say training facade is using commerce facade extension, for example, and I remove the commerce facade extension. What will happen is it will fail my build because my training facade will keep on looking for the commerce facade extension and it will not find it, so it will fail the build. So better you, whenever you remove the extension from here, just make sure that there is no dependency. Okay, so the next step, yeah, okay, there are no next steps now. So we have finished this. We have our website running. We have our back office running. We have our HSC running. Everything is fine. So now we can start the development on this website. We can change these banners and all. We can play around this website. So next time, whenever you start your server, right? So you just need to go to this particular URL to open your website. You don't need to do any initialization or anything again, right? So initialization is a one-time activity, right? If your Hybris license expires in 30 days, you need to do the reinitialization again, right? So for that, there are certain workarounds where you can install the temporary license and all those things. So we'll not talk about those in this lecture, but for the time being, just remember that the initialization is a one-time activity, right? And if you don't have a license for Hybris, you need to do it after every 30 days. Okay. So yeah. So let's close this particular lecture as of now. This is my email ID, nathan.hybris@gmail.com. You can post your questions, comments, whatever it is, on this email or on the video also. Okay. Since this was a very long session, I would like to thank you for staying till this particular point, right? It was great, and I am really sorry for keeping a lot of gap in between my videos, right? So I uploaded my last video 2 years back, right? So because of some time issues, I was not able to upload the videos on regular basis, but I'll try to upload the videos now on regular basis. So hope to see you into the next further sessions. Thank you and have a nice day. Enjoy.